All right, welcome everybody. This is our newest episode of Financially Speaking with Jason LaBarge. I am very excited for our guest today. Most of you who know me know that I'm a avid history buff, love American history, love European history, but I also really have an interest in local history. I'm originally from South Dakota. The LaBarges had a lot of influence, I guess you could say, on the creation of the state of South Dakota and the history, certainly. But I'm no longer in South Dakota. I live in the great state of Maryland. And so I'm trying to learn as much as I can on the history of our state. There's a lot of history there. But I wanted to start with our local history. And what I would ask various members of our community about certain historical things, everybody would bring up today's guest, Scott J. He is our local historian. I've only met Scott briefly, but I can tell you, Scott, for the last 5 years, I've had, 24 people tell me to call you, ask about you. So, look, I might be the only viewer who watches this episode, who has an interest in this episode because of the things that I'm interested in. What we're going to talk about today first is the history of this area, some local history, and then I want to talk to Scott just a little bit about his own retirement journey, and particularly on some of the things that he has done post-retirement. At LaBarge Financial, we like to say we help people retire with more than just money, and I think given Scott's interests and activities, it's extremely important. He is living that. And so I'm very excited to have you here today, Scott. Welcome to the
Thank you.
To the podcast.
Thank you.
First, just if you would tell our audience who you are, a little bit about your background. I don't have to go too much, but just first introduction before we go on the history of the area.
I'm Scott J. I was born across the street here. Next week it'll be 83 years ago. I grew up here. I went to Severna Park Elementary School. I went to Severna School. Went to a lot of schools.
I went to Severna.
Yeah, I went to a lot of schools. Unfortunately, usually just for a short time.
Sure.
Yeah,
so they booted you out of there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, pretty much. So I just grew up all around here. I've always loved it. It was a fabulous place to grow up as a kid. We had the river. We had swamps.
Yeah.
We had football fields at Severna School, and we just had a great time. So it was a good place.
And then what did you do? What did you do in business?
Well, I started out, my first job, I went to college for a year. It just wasn't for me.
Sure.
And so I got a job at Johns Hopkins Hospital, being a technician in the Wilmer Eye Institute.
Oh, sure.
Taking care of people that have had detached retinas and cataracts removed. And I did that for about 7 years. After that, I took a job working as a lumber broker, buying and selling truckloads of lumber, usually pallet lumber, but it was all tractor trailers. So I did that for about 7 years. And then I got sick. I had strep throat and I had kidney failure.
Wow.
And the doctor said, Scott, I want you to go home. If you want your kidneys to come back, you have to, well, just to give you a little background, I don't want to go too much. At any rate, I had this strep throat every day for 10 days. I gained 5 pounds. I went from 190 pounds to 240 pounds in 10 days. And my urine looked like Coca-Cola. And I went to the hospital and they said, you'll be lucky if you make it until the week. If your kidneys don't come back, you won't survive. And so I had 2 kids and a wife. And my boss said, if you can't come to work, I can't pay you. And so I had...
What year is this, roughly?
1996.
Okay.
Excuse me, 1976.
Okay.
And so I called a friend of mine I went to high school with at Severna Park. He got me a $25,000 line of credit. I called my suppliers. I called my customers, explained the whole thing, and I said, I have to go into business. And they said, well, we'll certainly support you. So they did. And I had my business for 20 years.
That was the start of the lumber business.
That was my lumber business. I started selling wood from my hospital bed. First order came from my hospital bed. And it worked out.
People that would buy from you are builders and...
No, Bethlehem Steel.
Okay.
A lot of
Got it.
all industrial stuff.
Got it.
Yeah. So
did that for 20 years.
yeah. Well, actually, I did that, but my business evolved into like specialty wood products.
Okay.
So we built a warehouse, and then we got a mill, and then we started making custom molding, and then we selling windows, and we started doing all that stuff.
Became pretty successful.
Yeah. And
sold it in 1996.
Sold it in 1996.
And
my son sold it to me. My son Kirk, my youngest son, who's like I say, works for Wells Fargo. He says it's wearing you down. You're working too hard. Let's just get rid of it, because neither one of my boys were interested.
And you had buyers, obviously, that wanted.
Yeah, I had 3 buyers.
So 1996, you sell it.
Yep.
And you do what?
Well, I was on the board at Severna School, which they had asked me to leave years ago. And I was in chairman of the buildings and grounds. And I designed the new site plan for the school, because the school was all run down and everything. And so they said, well, would you mind kind of overseeing? We want to move forward on this site plan. And I said, sure, I'd be glad to. And they said, we'll pay you. I said, well, you don't have to pay me, but
sure.
but
sure.
But so they did pay me. So I did that one. And then I did Chesapeake Academy. Then I did the Montessori School. Then I did the Summit School. And then I did 4 buildings for the Providence Center. And then I did office building.
And you're how old at this point?
Well,
so where were you born?
Oh, let's see. I was born in 43, and that was 96 is when I started.
All right, so you were in your 50s. You were young.
I was 52 when I got my
All right, so you were young. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what led you to be a buyer's rep.
Owner's rep.
Excuse me, owner's rep for for schools or counties or whatever.
Yeah, mostly schools.
Which makes sense coming out of Severn.
Yeah, but yeah, mostly schools. I did Maryland Hall too, but did a building for them too. So
were you always into history?
Yeah, well, always loved. Yeah, I really was, because there was a lady here. Her name was Mrs. Samuels, and she was here from the get-go, from like when Oscar Hatton bought the property, bought all of Severna Park. And I always wanted to sit down and talk to her and find out about all the stuff.
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, she passed away before I could.
And that was and Oscar Hatton.
That's right.
Was the land he owned this land or this property?
He bought this, yeah.
When?
1906, and he bought 180 acres. There wasn't anything.
Who did he buy it from?
He bought it from the Boone family, because it was the Boone farm, which encompassed Linstead as well as Severna Park. It was about 300 acres.
That was the Boones.
They were the
Boone. And the Boones came here when?
They came here. They were here in 1856, because in 1856, with their 3 children, they divided into 3 parcels. One parcel was Linstead, and then another parcel was the house that I was born in across the street here.
Okay.
That was Elizabeth. And then Georgie Boone lived, her house is at the top of Severna Park Beach Hill. And it's owned by Severna School, that building is.
So the Boone family had 3 kids.
Yep.
They split the parcel into 3.
Right.
And then did those 3 kids keep it?
Until they died.
And when did they pass? They would have passed.
Well, prior to
early 1900s.
Yeah, prior to that, 1906 is when Oscar Hatton bought it, and I think he bought it from the 2 girls, Elizabeth,
the
and
Boone
Georgia.
girls.
Yeah.
And then where did the Linstead family fit in? Who are the Linstead?
Linstead goes back even farther than
So
that.
tell me about the Linstead family.
Okay. Well, the brick house there.
I hope to own someday.
Well,
she's a nice gal.
Oh, she's a wonderful.
She's
gal.
a great gal.
Yeah.
I actually walked by there, or they were outside. We were doing something, and I was like, "Hey, can I see her? I'm a history guy. Sometime can I see your house?" And she's like, "You want to come now?"
Oh, did you?
And she showed. You did
so
a lot.
You were able to get in.
I got in. I saw it. You apparently did a lot, and she gave you a lot of credit. It was dilapidated or something, from what I understand, and you turned that into like something.
Oh, it was terrible. It was.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah. And there's the pictures in there are amazing.
Oh, well, so you saw the pictures?
I saw the pictures on the wall. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't sit and examine. I mean, I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm here for 3 hours,
Sure.
But who knows? A goal of mine someday is to own that thing, but I mean, who knows? But so who are the Lindsteds?
Okay, so let me back up. There was, I'm not sure, and I'm pretty sure 1758, excuse me, 1758, there was a guy by the name of Worthington, Tom Worthington.
Okay.
And he owned the property. And
property, you mean where the home sits?
The whole farm.
The whole thing. Okay.
The whole thing. And that was part of a land grant of 1680 from a guy by the name of Christopher Randall. And at any rate, I think he built the house.
Would Christopher Randall got it from like Lord Baltimore?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it was Lord Baltimore,
but somebody from some aristocrat,
some English person,
some English landowner.
Yeah. Well, of course, the English came and said, "Well, we own all of this.
This is ours now. Yeah, this is ours now.
You're a good guy. Let me give you 500 acres."
Thank you.
Actually, in this particular case, it was 2,600.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
From Joyce Lane to Shipley's Choice, from the Magothy to the Severn River. Here, you can have it.
Can you imagine? So then that person started parceling it out or doing whatever they did.
No, at any rate, it divided down. It became something like Christopher's Fancy.
That's what the land was called.
Mm-hmm, okay. Different things like that. And but it got smaller and smaller until it got down to 300, about 300.
And that was the Lindsteds then.
That was the Lindstedt.
The Lindstedt farm.
And they bought that prior to 1800. And they
in 1786 or whatever. Got it. Sure.
Yeah.
The Lindsteds buy that.
Yeah.
And they were who? Who were they? They were old money
No, because it wasn't. I mean, you need old money today, but you didn't need old money there. Sure, you could buy. I think it was going for. I think it all went for about $3,500.
Gosh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? So they buy it. They then build the house.
I think Tom Worthington bought the house.
Tom Worthington.
I think he did, but I'm not sure.
And forgive me, Worthington was after the Lindsteds, or
no? He was the first guy.
He got.
He was
Randall, Worthington, Lindstedt,
and then the Boones.
So, because the Boones and the Lindsteds, they came together.
They did,
or some marriage.
Yeah, I think there was a marriage in there somewhere.
And then I have the house I bought, which is One Ridge, in the One Ridge Road.
Okay.
In the basement had the plans from the architects that I'm forgetting that plotted out Lindstedt.
Oh yeah. Grow and Keith.
Yes, I have the original. It's amazing. Like they're a pretty big size poster that we framed and have up. It's got all the number of the lots and stuff.
Sure.
But that was like what, the 40s?
Around 1940.
So then the Lindsteds / Boones had it.
The Lindsteds
up until the 40s.
No, wait. So the Lindsteds and the Boones, and then the Boones died, and then the property went up for auction. Particularly Lindstedt went up for auction.
Okay.
And around 1906. It's kind of interesting because the house was vacant in 1898, and there was a blizzard, truly a blizzard, and some guys had rented it to go hunting on the farm, and they got stuck in there, and one thing led to another. They got cold, and so they started ripping the doors apart and ripping all the molding to start a fire so they could keep warm.
And this is the early 19.
This is 1898 when it came. When that
nobody's living there. Nobody's in there.
No. So at any rate, the house was evidently in bad shape. It went up for auction, and the Riggs brothers bought it. All of Lindstedt, not Severna Park, but all of Lindstedt. Yeah,
they own that whole.
Whole thing. Yeah, it's about 96 acres.
What's up with Round Bay at this time? Do you know anything about Round Bay? What's happening?
Round Bay's a whole lot different story. That's a guy that was owned by the WB&A Railroad. They were trying to develop it. There's a guy by the name of Chapman and some other stuff. So I'm not.
And there were which one was the dance hall? Which one was the Boy Scouts? The Boy Scouts was Lindstedt.
Lindstedt, yeah, at the far end at Cedar Point.
The Foothouse.
Yeah.
And that was till when?
Oh, let's see. I would say probably till after the war. right after the war.
Interesting.
48, somewhere like that.
Well, because then the cool or whoever the architects or whoever were trying to develop it,
Grow Keithy.
Would have bought it.
Well, that it went with it. When the Riggs brothers died, then evidently it went up and Grow Keithy bought it to develop it.
Oh, that makes sense. They bought it from the Riggs.
Yeah.
And then what's happening during this time in broader Severna Park? What's the history of our little Severna Park? When did it start? There's a story of the African American woman naming it, which might be folklore.
No, it's true.
Oh, that's true story. So give us the history of the broader Severna Park and that sort of thing.
So Oscar Hatton came here in 1906. He was a lawyer from Baltimore, and he came down. And how he financed it, I don't know, but he bought the whole thing, which was about 200 acres. It's like 186 acres, something like that. And so he bought the whole thing. And he laid all the property out, all the roads out, and he and a guy by the name of Reverend George White was a little African American.
Yes, I have some descendants of the Whites as clients.
Good.
They still own some property somewhere. Yeah. The Whites. Yes, I've got some clients that have told me about the White family.
Well, he was 12 years old, and he and Oscar Hatton planted all the trees, all the catalpa trees on Maple Avenue, all the ones down Evergreen.
And Oscar Hatton is how old at this point?
I think he's about 35.
What's he doing with a 12-year-old?
Well, he did all the work. Put a tree.
Hey,
here.
I'm going to hire this white kid to do the. Yeah. Okay.
Put a tree here. Put a tree here. Put a tree here. That's what he did.
And what roads would he have designed? Like, what would have come Riggs Avenue or Benfield?
There weren't anything here.
So those have been the roads he would have because Richie wasn't here.
I think he put in all different roads.
Like Hatton Drive back here.
Yeah, wasn't there. No, that wasn't there. That was all woods. And actually Evergreen Road, I'm not sure what
Evergreen,
I don't know what the status of that was.
But so he laid down
the holes, all of everything.
And then tried to sell.
Then he said, wait, if you want to come down to our high class community down here in Severna Park, because it's only 35 minutes by train from Baltimore.
Sure.
So you can come down here. We have our very own water lines. We have our very own telephone lines.
Oh, sure.
And we have, let's see, what else? It seemed like there was something else. It wasn't sewer, that's for sure. But so he had everything.
It's developed. In other words, it's developed.
It was
and the railroad was coming. The B&A was through here.
Yeah, that started.
Without the B&A, this isn't.
Yeah, but that started in 1886, I think it was.
But in other words, it was here, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, it's come off the line, take the train right from Baltimore.
Walk out.
And
even Round Bay, they ran a special spur over to the dance hall.
Because we got a Round Bay resident here. So, like, who were some of the big families then? When you mentioned the Whites, the Boone, like the Winklemeyer, Betty with her family.
They didn't come until after the war.
They would have came later.
After the war.
So, who were some of those old? Can you think of any of those old?
Well, I can tell you about. Well, of course, Cliff Dawson started in '44.
Sure.
He bought. Doc Codd died, and he bought his store.
Okay.
And that was pretty much.
So it's Dawson's old Codd's?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, downstairs where the candy store.
Oh, sure. Oh,
and the little part on the side was where they collected bottles because they were all reusable bottles back there.
Sure.
And so Cliff Dawson was here, great guy. One day, when I was 9, I had appendicitis. Well, I'll even back up. There's a really interesting guy. His name was Dr. Billingsley, and he was affectionately known as Dr. Bill. To me, he seemed like he was about 6'6", and he wore his hair very similar to mine. And at any rate, big old guy. I had pains in my stomach. I was over here at this house. When you wanted Dr. Bill, you'd come to Lydia, call Lydia here.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, and she would call.
Where's the doc?
She'd call over to Severn. She'd go over to Severn because Dr. Bill went to Severn every day.
To work with the kids there, the students there.
Yeah, make sure they were all healthy. And not one kid got the Spanish flu.
Right. So
nobody died.
So Severn's a big part of the history because
Oh.
Severn's here in
1914.
Right. So that's why to come here, you think?
Well, let's see. Let me
Yeah,
finish
keep
it.
going. Sorry, I know.
Okay, so Dr. Bill. So at any rate, I had appendicitis. Dr. Bill comes up. I can hear him coming up the steps now, and he says the kid has to go to the hospital, and says to my mother, "Do you have any money, or you have a car, or anything?" She said, "No, I got $2." And so he's called up Cliff Dawson. He says, "Cliff, you got to shut the store down. You got to take Scott J up to University of Maryland."
Crazy.
And so Dr. Bill, here I am at 9 years old. He actually picks me up.
Because your mom didn't have the money or whatever.
Yeah, well, he picks me up, carries me down the step, puts it in Cliff Dawson things, and reaches in his pocket and gave her a wad of bills like this and says, "Go take care of that boy." Yeah.
To this day, you don't have an appendix, or
no, we left it.
Appendix is gone.
Yep, from 9 years
So
old.
real quick, what did your parents do? What did your parents do for
Our father was in the lumber business.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
What
other families? What other old school families come to mind when you think about the history of this area?
Well, of course, I think of Dr. Bill's a big part of it. There was Ted Tyler lived across the street. He was a friend of my parents. He was in the cooperage business up in Baltimore. They made barrels.
That Cooper business, I don't have that much anymore.
Yeah.
Now we have, gosh, John, who was the dentist? They lived over there
Anderson?
on Haddon.
Yeah.
So his daughter's a client. He just passed away.
Yeah.
She married John Needham. The Needhams may have lived in Linstead when you did.
They may have it.
Go ask Jesse what John Needham's wife's name. I'm drawing a total blank. Because I think his office was here. What other? So the naming of Severna Park, that's a true story.
Yeah.
They had a newspaper. What was it called up until
Boone.
It was called Boone.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, he's going through the farm.
It was called Boone. So when did they change it to Severna Park?
I think in the 20s.
So they had name the deal, name the city.
Deal was this: we're going to name it. If you come up with a good name, we'll give you a lot. And so they said, fine. So this name comes along, and they say, well, this is one we like, and they say, here it is.
She's African American. We can't give
it to her. So we'll give her $500 and send her on her way. And that's what they did.
Was there? What did we get a name?
Katie.
Last name. Maiden name. Katie. God, she's gonna bother me.
I know it's gonna hit me on the head.
It's gonna hit me. I can't think of it. What other things history of the area do you find interesting that you want to tell us?
Well, Round Bay's kind of nice.
I love Round Bay.
Packtown's kind of interesting. That's where the whites are, all up in there. Do you know about Packtown?
No, tell me about that, because
I think they
tried.
Lot, but it's very interesting that it is African American community back there, and they went back and they built all these little.
And they would give the houses, I think, to other African Americans.
They did. They
did. That's what
I don't know about. I just don't know a whole lot about it, but they are.
Yes, Murphy. Dr. Murphy. Dr. Murphy. Yeah, Dr. Murphy. That's what it was. I couldn't think of it either. Yeah. Sorry, Katie. I've heard a lot of stories on Dr. Murphy.
Yep.
And then, the white, that's a great story. And I don't remember the details either, but it was like, if you came and worked with me or if you did something, the white family would build a house for you to live on, or you know what I mean, or something like that, or planting trees or something.
They were good. Reverend White was really a kind of a cool guy because he lived to be well over 100 years.
So when would he have passed away then? In the 70s or something?
Probably in the early 90s.
Up into the 90s.
Somewhere like that. Interesting guy. He ran a septic cleaning business. He cut fields. He planted trees. He could do anything. He's just a really cool guy.
And that's something.
Yeah.
And he was a reverend too, or that's just what they call him?
Yeah, no, he was a reverend. Yeah, he preached at his church.
Fascinating. What can you tell us about this building? I know you said you've never been in here and you don't know much about it.
I don't know.
But what do you remember, if anything?
Only that Lydia was here.
And so
her mother.
Lydia was the daughter of the operator.
Yeah.
Other people have told me kind of what you're talking about with Dr. Bill. a lot of people would call here to ask like where people were. Like,
Oh yeah, where's my mother?
It was it was a center of community.
Yeah. Where's my mother? Oh, she's over at the Evanses playing cards today. Oh, okay. Lydia, do we have school today?
Yeah,
it's
that
gonna
kind of
happen
thing.
to our
Yes.
She knew everything.
Yes.
Yeah, she was great.
And there was a party line, or you had in the upper wealthier people had their own line.
Well, it was one of them, the Evanses I just referred to. He was Judge Evans was chief judge for the circuit court of Anne Arundel County for years. His phone number was 7. So
it was a single digit.
Just a single digit.
Just the 7.
And mine, we had a party line. And you knew that I had a party line because we had a letter at the end. So my number was 285W. And you pick up the phone and you have, let me just tell you, and then you have to hang up.
And so I would call and say, hey, get me 28W. And so, you're calling the Jays.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you call the Jays.
Yep.
And people would talk about the weather. People would talk about, I guess,
just like what they gab about on TV, on the radio now,
And so, that, you always remember this building being here.
Yeah, it was always here.
Because I think it was the 30s.
Could have been. It looks architecturally and the way it's built is probably around the 30s.
One day, gosh, maybe a year ago. Hell, it may have been Lydia. 2 older women were walking around here. And I was kind of, hey, can I help you? And they were like, yeah, we grew up in this thing. We grew up in this building.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Can you send me any information on it? And they sent me, and I didn't think they were, but they sent me pictures. And nobody, understandably, sat and took a picture of the building. So they kind of sent me pictures of them when the building was in the backdrop. And it didn't have the vestibule. But pretty much, other than that, this is what it looked like. They had the second door.
When would that have been? When would that?
This would have been. The pictures look like in the 50s/60s.
Yeah, but when did you see the?
Oh, that was like a year ago.
Yeah, Lydia died.
Oh, so Lydia passed. So maybe Lydia's kids.
I don't think they had any children, but I'm not sure.
She said either her grandmother or somebody, because these women were in their 60s.
Yeah, maybe an aunt.
Could have been. I don't remember, but they were connected to the operator. And they even said they lived in the apartment upstairs.
Okay, because that's where they lived.
Yeah, they lived in the apartment upstairs. Yeah. And so but it part of what attracted me to this building, just the history and being part of it. It's just, you know what I mean? Like in buying it, feel like I'm carrying on a tradition that is important to me.
Well, you fixed it up. You saved it.
It was pretty bad here.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. They were the Howard brothers. You ever know the Howard brothers at all? So the Howard brothers own like Howard Petroleum.
Okay.
And they would fill home gas tanks.
Okay.
In addition to, I think, just trading oil.
Sure.
And they were operating out of here. And it was, from what I understand, there was a doctor in here after the exchange, because the exchange left here in 60.
Well, Dr. Church was next door.
I thought I always said there was a doctor in here.
I don't recall.
And so, because the phone company was only here till 1960. Your article that you sent actually references that too. That, yeah. They went to the Exchange Building or something in Pasadena or somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's when we flipped over to Dial.
Yes. And the Howard brothers bought it in 83. They didn't do anything, I don't think, after that. We had a bunch of mail.
Well, it was Lydia Howard.
Was it?
Yeah. So they were
maybe they were siblings.
Maybe they were related.
Well, that might make sense.
I don't think Lydia had it. I don't think Lydia.
No, this was Phil Howard.
Yeah, I don't think
Phil and Joe Howard. Joe's not right.
That could be a nephew,
a nephew or something
like that.
So you're telling me Lydia did not have any children?
I don't think Lydia and Paul had any children at all.
So because they were definitely, it was Howard Petroleum.
Yeah,
I think I have an old,
and their last name was Howard.
Definitely Howard.
Yeah.
Phil Howard, his wife came here to get mail soon after we bought it. She came in and started crying. She's like, I wanted to do this. And we just didn't get around to it, whatever.
Sure.
She's like, wow, you guys did an amazing job. It wasn't like dilapidated by any stretch of the imagination. It looked like it was 1983 in here.
Yeah, but it's well constructed. It's a good building.
If you go downstairs, you won't smell a whiff
Oh, I'm
of
sure.
musk or whatever. You know, you go to old
No.
homes, you smell watered out, not a
No.
whiff of it downstairs.
No, it's built well.
Who would have built it? Any idea? I mean, you wouldn't have any clue who would have built it back in those days.
Right.
Talk.
Maybe Grow too, and Keithy.
They would have had a connection in here.
They could have, because they were the only ones that were doing any building around here. They did Linstead, and then they did a couple of houses up. We live on Hendler Road. They did a couple of houses.
That's where you grew up?
No, I grew up right across the street.
Right on here, okay.
Yeah.
How long are we at?
30 minutes.
Talk to me about your retirement. You retired officially from being the owner's rep.
Oh gosh.
When?
I guess a couple years ago.
So you did. So were you full time?
No.
Okay, yeah. So talk about after you, like, how busy were you with the building of those schools? Was you 40 hours a week back in?
No.
Okay, so a couple jobs a year.
Yeah, I had a couple of jobs. Well, I mean, Severna, I worked on that from 1996 until 2014.
Do you consider yourself retired today?
No.
I mean, I know it's a stupid question,
I'd
but
like to get a job.
You want to work here tomorrow? You be my historian. But like, what do you? Obviously, the history. What else do you do for fun, other than family and stuff?
I'm a woodworker.
Okay.
And I write stories.
What kind of stories you write?
Little history stories. A lot of baloney stories.
What do you type it? What do you do?
Yeah, I put it on the computer.
You got one you can bring me?
I might be able to.
I collect rare books. I'm a book collector. I'll put it in my collection.
Okay. I can send you a couple.
What does retirement mean to you?
It means sleeping late, reading, and trying to find something to do. So other than that, it's good.
What did your wife do?
She raised two boys.
Right.
And
best job in the world.
Got a lot of gray hair from doing that.
Totally.
And she also worked at the legislature, and she worked at St. John's College as a career counselor.
Okay, so you guys were both pretty active in local.
Oh yeah.
Severna, St. John's.
We had to eat.
You got to eat. You got to put food on the table.
I mean, really and truly, you got to stop and think. My first job, when I worked up at Johns Hopkins Hospital, I made $75.
I was going to ask you, how'd you get in there? That's a pretty unique position for a kid 1 year in college.
I know. I worked for a local optician, and they said they had an office over at Hopkins, and so they sent me over there to be a dispensing optician, and I did. And then I hooked up with a couple of doctors, and I learned how to make artificial eyes, contact lenses, and eyeglasses.
And then you said, "Hey, I'm going to get in the lumber business."
Yeah, I did. Because I'm down there, and somebody'd come in and they'd be wet, and I'd say, "Is it raining out?" I was in the basement of the Wilmer Eye Institute. "Is it raining out?" Yeah. And I couldn't. After a while, I couldn't stand it. So I did it for I guess 5, 6, maybe 7 years. And so I had a friend of mine who had this lumber business. He says, "I think you could sell some wood." So
even Wilmer, I mean, that's a big deal.
It's the best in the world.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Wilmer's no joke.
No,
was it back then too?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's always been.
Oh yeah, they came from all over. I tell you, I remember I was there. I had one patient, and I said, "What's your name, sir?" She says, "My name is Ogden Nash." I said, "Ogden Nash? That sounds familiar." Well, of course, he's a poet, a famous poet. Another one was in there, and I said, "And your name, sir?" "My name is Milton Eisenhower."
Oh wow.
That's Ike's
son.
Ike's brother. And so
Ike and Milton.
They came from all over the world.
My mom went there. Wilmer's a big deal.
Oh, it is. It's great. It's great. The Boone House in Linstead, Dwight Eisenhower had dinner there one night.
With the Riggs?
No, with the Carters, the people that owned it. Mr. and Mrs. Carter had a son at West Point and one at the Naval Academy. Ike's son was a roommate to their son. And so before he was president, he was general, 4-star.
Sure.
When they invited him down to have dinner with him one time. And it said a big black Packard drove up with 2 flags, red flags on the side with 5 stars in a circle.
And that would have been what year you think that?
Yeah, it's probably in the late 40s, early 50s.
And the woman, I can't think of what her family's what? The woman who owns it now.
Oh, Adams. Yeah.
A Greek family.
Yeah.
Pretty big time in Annapolis.
Yeah.
Pretty prominent family in Annapolis. She's great.
She is great.
The fact that yes, I'm a neighbor, but I'm not I don't know them, for them. And her daughter was there and they were kind of having a gathering of some sort, family gathering or something, for her to be like, yes, come on in.
Yeah.
And that backyard, man, and the deck that I don't know if you did that or somebody did that, but
well, the house, when we bought it, was in bad shape.
That's what
to the extent I took out every piece of wood in the house because it was full of termites and wood.
Were people like, what are you doing buying that house, Scott?
Yes.
Were you as into history then as you are now?
No, but they thought I was crazy. 150 people looked at the house and not one person everybody was afraid of it.
Sure.
I wasn't afraid of it because it had the center wall in the house. It has brick walls going all the way around.
Yeah.
There's a center wall that went in the middle that had all deteriorated. If that wall
is that the staircase too? I remember there's a staircase, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this is in the basement.
Oh,
but
got
if that
got
center wall would have come down, all four walls would have come down. The whole thing.
And what year was this?
1985 when I bought it.
And you lived there how long?
Till 2001.
I tell you what, if I'm ever having the opportunity to buy it, I'll bring you in there.
Well, they just sold a house in Linstead for $5 million. So.
That's what I'm hearing. So it might be a while. I might need to borrow some money from you.
Yeah, don't you?
Put you back to work. You can loan it back to me.
That's what.
How's that sound? Yeah. Retirement sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Anything else you want to leave with us today? I know I've taken a lot of your time. I appreciate it.
I'm happy.
Any other history, good stories you can think of that would leave me very interested and happy? What do you think?
Well, when I was a little boy, 3 years old, I walked down to Dawson's with a stitch of clothes on.
Naked.
Yeah.
You want to do it again? You want to reenact that?
No.
Should we reenact that?
No. We don't.
83 years later.
He was great. He picked me up and brought me home.
How many siblings do you have?
Just me. I'm very special.
Scott J.
Yeah, I'm an only child.
Well, I tell you what, we'll do it again. This has been Financially Speaking with Jason LaBarge. This has certainly been my favorite episode. Second one, my mom's episode was my favorite. But seriously, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to do it.
Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll have more episodes uploading soon. Thank you. Make it a great day. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business LaBarge Financial, LLC. LaBarge Financial, LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC. A registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by LaBarge Financial, LLC are not subject to investment advisor or broker-dealer requirements. Securities offered only by duly registered individuals through Madison Avenue Securities, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. AEWM and MAS are not affiliated companies of LaBarge Financial. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. LaBarge Financial is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein, provided by third parties, have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by LaBarge Financial.